We believe this time is like no other. We refer to these as the tectonic shifts.
All the hyperscalers in the world, if you add them all together, managed services will be 1.5 times larger.
Because it is the customer buying behavior that has created the need for all of us to rethink our models.
Until we have data quality, the effectiveness of AI cannot be realized, and effectiveness of the partnerships cannot be realized.
Can you figure out first what your purpose is and how Microsoft can support your purpose and how you can support Microsoft's purpose? Now we have a partnership. It's the ultimate partnership.
Good morning. I'm Vince Menzione, the CEO of Ultimate Partner and the host of the Ultimate Guide to Partnering podcast. And I'm thrilled to be back in the studio here in Boca Raton. We have a lot of stories about Boca Raton. It is really the seminal point in the start of this ecosystem we all care about. It's also where we host the Ultimate Guide to Partnering podcast, where we host our events. And we're going to do our very first live stream here today. It's designed for you to achieve incredible success as a partner. We're working with the hyperscalers like Microsoft. Our topic today is becoming the ultimate MSP. This is a topic that we care deeply about as our guests do as well. And each of my guests that are here today, I'm so privileged to have members of our community, friends, people that I truly appreciate and admire who are here now, who feel the same and are so passionate on this subject. I want to invite them each to introduce themselves and say a couple words about why they believe this MSP moment is so unique and why it's so relevant to all of us today. So Scott, good to see you.
Great to see you. So exciting to be here live, right? Got to be careful. So for those who I've not met yet, my name is Scott Sacket, and I'm the Senior Vice President of Partner Strategy at AvePoint. And I've been in the channel ecosystem now for over 25 years. I was a partner. Of course, I've been at AvePoint leading channel now for many years, almost 20 years. And this moment's incredible, right? Cloud really democratized what partners could do and how to build up and support many customers, small and large. And today, MSPs really are the linchpin to how we build and manage IT. So it's an incredible moment for them, and it's only getting more important as things change and grow and evolve. So exciting times.
I love the linchpin comment because it really holds it all together. I love that. And Per Werngren, another great friend of ours. Per, please take a moment and introduce yourself to our audience, all of our friends that are watching us today on the line.
Thank you, Vince. It's a privilege to be here. So I'm the CEO of IDNext. We do AI and Azure operations. And why do I love MSPs? Well, I've been doing subscriptions all my life. And recurring revenue is such a beautiful thing because you start small, you sell a little bit, you sell more, and you don't lose what you have sold. You just keep on building, and it all piles up. Beautiful business model.
I love it. I love it.
All right. Hi,
Nabil, great to see you, my friend.
Thanks for having me. I mean, it's been amazing coming to Florida, to the hot Florida. But I'm Nabil Aitonumeziane. I'm the president of FSI Strategy. We're an MSP. We specialize in Microsoft. We're a managed service provider, but we specialize 100% in Microsoft technologies. So thanks for having me.
Well, and you are an MSP, right? We
Yes.
talk about this all the time and how you've evolved your company.
We are an MSP, but we are not your traditional MSP, which is managed service provider. We are more of the modernization solution partner because we are trying to live in the AI era world. So we had to change our name as well, how to help our customers move forward with this technology is moving very fast. So
I'm going to frame that, and we'll go right into it. I'm going to hit you with the first question. But we talk about this tectonic shifts that we've seen in our world and our lives, and we've been talking about transformation at Ultimate Partner for many years. It started back in my Microsoft days, 10 years leading the partner business for public sector and growing that organization during the cloud's transformation. But we've been talking about the hyperscalers are really at the center, and really we talk about Boca, the fact that Bill Gates came down here in 1981 and signed an agreement with IBM really sparked this ecosystem. There's over 500,000 just in the Microsoft ecosystem of partners, probably well over 1 million if you put Google Cloud and AWS and you look at that center of the universe, and we'll talk about that center and how there are now 7 seats at the table. But then, we talked about the last couple of years. AI really became a thing. ChatGPT started it all back in November 2022. And now, we've had this incredible transformation that we're going to talk about, and why it's so fundamental today and why it's even more important. And then also how marketplaces are so fundamental to success today. The buying behaviors have changed. The millennial is the new buying persona, and they're very comfortable in marketplaces. We're all more comfortable now hitting our phone 3 times and having a box show up at the end of the day, right? We're all used to digital buying, and it's becoming the buying process has changed dramatically. And the hyperscalers have all embraced this marketplace. But then what do you need fundamentally in order to have success? You need to have engagements with those sellers, and that's why co-selling is so critical and important. We're going to talk about that as also an important component. And then we talk about this ecosystem and why you can't go alone. And then we've been around Ultimate Partner. We created Ultimate Partner because we recognize that success is all about coming together. And I talk about the 7 seats at the table because the buying persona is now making a decision about driving a solution. They're not buying a one-off vendor solution. They're creating a solution set, and they need multiple vendors to come together. And this conversation today is how MSPs need to embrace these tectonic shifts. Nabil, you've owned this successful MSP for many years. You said 25 years you've been in this business, which is incredible.
Long time.
You don't even look old enough to have been doing this for 25 years. Tell us what successes look like for you and your organization, and what has the change been like? Can you speak to the change that we've been seeing?
So we have seen the big changes in the past 10 years when it comes to the MSP world. We went, I think all of us in the MSP world, we came all from the break and fix model to all you can eat, which became kind of very hard to kind of manage. But the past 10 years, I've seen the MSP world really growing very fast because seeing the big companies out there, ISVs, who are also now providing MSP services, because all the big scalers, if you ask me, they are trying to cover it all. Like, take a customer from soup to nuts, help them with everything they need to do with technology. And that's why we're seeing more and more bigger player into the MSP community these days. And it's I think, one of the fastest growing technology businesses out there. I mean, I've been in it for 25 years, and the past 10 years, I've seen tens of thousands of companies that have came out of nowhere. So it's becoming the hot business in the IT world. So the big change also that I see, it's the technology that's moving very fast, and I feel like the MSPs who are moving as fast as the technology is moving, they're going to succeed. They're going to succeed, but the ones who are waiting, trying to figure out the whole AI era that we're living in, they're going to be left behind.
Yes.
Because the train already has left the station for the AI. It started, like you said earlier, November 2022, but Copilot, it started for me in 2024. Copilot came out of one of the AI technology that came out there for Microsoft. It was not the biggest success out there, but now with agents, they are fixing all the little issues that they had because, anyway, I think we're going to have time to discuss AI a little deeper and what's going on with it, but those are the difference that I see. It's if you do not move fast enough and get in the AI, train today, you're going to be left behind as an MSP.
I am in violent agreement with you. Scott, you've been at AvePoint for many years. I've known AvePoint for close to 2 decades. And you started off in the big enterprises, right? Big organizations, big public sector organizations, all the big government agencies used AvePoint's technology. What have you seen this shift now to moving out beyond just the largest customers? And how is AvePoint addressing that?
Yeah, so it's an incredible journey, right? We started as a SharePoint ISV, doing things like migration and backup and governance. And the world changed drastically while we've been in business. I mean, just this past July, 24 years in business, publicly traded, right, the last 4 years. And what we saw evolve was cloud really changing the game for us. On-premise became cloud. Cloud, of course, grew from just SharePoint Online for us to Exchange Online and OneDrive, and then Teams. Oh my goodness, Teams just blew up everything. And when we started thinking about how we continue to evolve our business, partners became such an important and critical piece to how we grow. Because what was really expensive and complex for an SMB organization 20 years ago, server farm, right, really expensive hardware, all of a sudden became a really simple service to flip a switch and just to log in. And so as we were thinking about this ecosystem where SMB actually comprised of 50% ultimately of the market, how were we going to scale? How were we going to be able to bring benefit to those types of customers? And when we really started digging into it, MSPs were not just important, they're really the superhero, right? They are the ones who are keeping that entire segment going and building out technology and exposing technology to them that they never had before, because they have that sort of level of competency and expertise that many SMB customers don't have. That's right. And so we started really heavily investing in the MSP space over the last 10 years, and not just taking our enterprise products and just handing it to MSPs and saying, okay, go figure it out, but we repackaged the whole thing. We built it from the ground up. We built a platform that allows for scale and automation and service delivery, which is just so unbelievably important as we move into this next era, right, of AI, when you layer in security and governance, because that's what's keeping people from actually realizing that vision.
Yeah,
right?
you bring up some really great points. So I think back of the server being in the closet in the back of the room at the SMB organization. And then this move to the cloud, this shift from the cloud started about 8-10 years ago. M365 drove Microsoft's engagement there, Google Cloud as well. But then Azure took off in a big way in these organizations. They finally have started to realize the benefits. And I almost feel like the MSP community was sitting behind doing break fix on computers while the customers were saying we need to engage and we need to embrace all this. And then you start thinking about data, because if you are going to do things like AI, which is now, we talked about just the relevance of AI just the last couple of years, you've got to get your data state right. And then if you've got data out there, you need to protect that data. And that's where you come in with all the set of tools, right? So AvePoint addresses all of this.
The move to AI has been so challenging for so many customers and partners. We have been building a lot of technology to help break down those barriers. That is by far the most requested and deployed service that we're building for. And we want to solve that problem for our partners, right? Because we know once they get to AI, there's so much goodness to unlock, right? And more productivity to unleash.
And you enable these MSPs, right?
Oh,
because you bring the tools, you bring the systems and tools, you take out some of the complexity for them, but then you make them the superheroes in front of those customers.
Absolutely. I mean, the whole idea is to get our partners to be at scale, to automate, to integrate with their existing technology, right? Their PSAs, their RMMs, right? The existing infrastructure, and to ultimately build a better business, right? And to make them so valuable to their customers that the stickiness is obvious.
Yeah. Per, you've been around partners for almost as long as I have, maybe even longer in some respects. I mean, you were the founder of the Microsoft partner ecosystem, its association back in the day. And so you've seen this evolution up close and personal, right? Within the companies that you've run, you've been a serial entrepreneur. What are you starting to see, and what are the characteristics that the MSPs watching today, and maybe watching this either live stream or a recording of this either on our YouTube channel or on the podcast, what do they need to be doing differently? What are the characteristics that makes a successful or the ultimate MSP?
So that's a good question, and I don't know how many days we got to answer that question.
We'll start now. We'll be here for a few days.
So I would say that many MSPs, they give too much power to their technical people. Business decisions should be made by business people, and too many times technical people influence strategically important decisions that they should not have a say about. And that means that many MSPs, they have a product portfolio that is too broad, way too broad, and
that's broad for our American listeners today, right?
I'm European. And that means that it is hard to entertain all the technologies that are involved.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of better together. I want technologies to be integrated with each other because that saves cost and probably also give better outcomes for the customers. And too many MSPs, they don't dare standardize. Instead, they customize a little bit too much. And when you customize, well, then you kind of lose the beautiness of being an MSP. The last thing is probably that when you have a product portfolio that is too wide, you will never become really good at all the offerings. Instead, it is better to look at what should you produce in-house, what can you produce in-house with good quality and good profitability. And then you find partners whose services that you resell.
Yep.
So this mix of creating your product portfolio and dare to kill your darlings, dare to say no to producing everything in-house, try to become a little bit more narrow in what you do is one path to success. And profitability is really bad among many MSPs.
Yeah, because they're trying to be all things to all people.
Yes, if you try to be jack of all trades, well, you will never be successful. And that will hurt your profitability. That will also hurt the day when you want to exit your company.
Yeah. So let's talk about, because this is really, it's winning and successful as an MSP, but a lot of this is around the Microsoft ecosystem today, Nabil's organization. What do you say, you eat, sleep, drink, and bleed Microsoft? Is that it, Nabil?
Sleep, breathe Microsoft.
Breathe Microsoft. So what are like the quick wins for the MSPs out there? What can they be doing? What are the things you've done, Nabil, within your organization? We can start top down with getting your organization right. I think Per alluded to some of that as well. We can talk about like engaging with the Microsoft field organization. What seems to work?
But it may also start, but stop thinking like a service provider.
Yeah.
As an MSP.
Yeah.
All right? We're more of a strategic.
You need to keep your mic up a little bit higher there.
I'm sorry, I don't
That's
know
right.
if you guys could hear me, but I feel like every MSP needs to stop thinking like a service provider and think more about the strategic partnership that they're going to build with the customers. We're here to help customer. And then one thing I think Scott used to talk about, it's the sellers in the MSP world or in the technology world. They need to start talking more about business and stop talking about technology because we're dealing with C executives.
That's right.
They are thinking more about how can we help their business move forward and grow, and how can they do more with less. That's why we need to have those AI conversations. They're more of business conversations than technical conversations. You're going to confuse them. Because what we're trying to do with the AI era, that's why I think for all the MSPs out there, you need to get on AI now. Yesterday. Not today, yesterday, because our job now with all our customers, we're going to help them navigate this whole AI era that we're going through. All the confusions are out there. How can we help them? What are the solutions that we can build and then have them repeatable with different customers with the AI? But if you're not in the AI world today, you need to be in it. Otherwise, you're going to be left behind because that's how fast the MSP world is moving.
Well, I'm going to turn it over to you, Per, but I want to kind of frame it a little bit, like, because we talk about, like, you need to be able to speak Microsoft if you're working with Microsoft, right?
So Per said something earlier about jack of all trade and master of none. This is how FSI, about 8 years ago, decided to partner with one of the biggest partners in the world, Microsoft, for the reason we were tired of being jack of all trade and master of none. We wanted to be good at one thing and be very good at it. So we went and we chose Microsoft. I always liked working with them. So we went with Microsoft. But it's not about just Microsoft as a partner. Choose your partners. Be very wise about how you choose your partners, because the culture is also important when you're working with a partner. Like, I've worked with AvePoint, which we have an amazing relationship. I work with Blackpoint. I work with Huntress. I work with Microsoft a lot. But the common thing that we all have together, we are all Microsoft companies. And the culture at FSI is Microsoft. So if I went to AvePoint, because AvePoint was also eating, breathing, sleeping Microsoft as well. Because they started their business in 2001. They were a SharePoint company. So they know, they understand how Microsoft functions, whatever. But my point to you guys here, having the right partner will help you succeed and move forward. So an ISV that you're buying services from or software from, work with them, do marketing with them, do events with them, create things. I think this is something that we have lost. We don't see it that much anymore. We see a lot of ISVs in the conferences where they're just over there selling. No, do things together to the community, to our customers. For example, I'm doing a roadshow with AvePoint. I do the same thing with Microsoft, where we get all our customers, and our customers have also access to our ISV directly. So they know when I'm telling them, hey, you need to buy that product, I'm bringing my partner to the discussion. They can talk with them, and so partnership is very important.
So you talked about a couple of things. I'm going to frame it, and I want to turn it over to Per because he had raised his hand in a way. You talked about outcomes. So start talking about the outcomes that we're going to help you achieve. And then you also, what you implied is we bring value back to Microsoft. So this is like, how do I get a seller's attention? And you might be in the SMB market, but they have a sales organization called Small, Medium, Enterprise, and Channel. SMEC is the new term, not my favorite term, but they have taken Nicole Deasen's organization, who spoke at our last event where you all were there, and they've combined those organizations to help get the scale to the SMB market. But they have salespeople, they have sellers and specialists that support even these smaller customers. Per, I know you wanted to jump in with some thoughts on this, and how do you get yourself aligned better with that Microsoft organization?
So don't ask what Microsoft can do for you, ask what you can do for Microsoft.
Nice.
We heard that before. It is important to understand that the Microsoft people, they have a lot of things on their plate, and so many emails are flowing in, and there are 500,000 great partners in the world.
Yes.
So you need to make sure that you make it easy for them to understand what you bring to the table. And something that they love is when you communicate wins with clients, and the best, and I know that you do it beautifully, is to take care of clients that are underserved, clients that are kind of forgotten. Do a great thing and communicate that with Microsoft. They love that.
So one of the things that Per was talking about, it's the way I work with Microsoft as an MSP, specializing like mostly in Microsoft. It's I work with the sellers. We have a plan together. So don't go and knock at AvePoint or Microsoft or whoever the partner is and ask for handouts. You need to do some work. So what we do at FSI, we run marketing campaigns for the sellers. All right? We utilize our SDRs internally to make phone calls for dead accounts with that ISV that we're working with.
So you're generating leads.
So we are doing the work. We are doing the dirty work as well. We're trying to, like what I call it, the 3 Ws. Win, win, win. Not only Microsoft wins. Microsoft wins, FSI wins, the customers
Power of 3.
Power of 3. Here we go. So it's that's what we're doing. Like, so my point, don't go to a partner and expect them to just, because you're buying a software from them, that they're going to be giving you referrals, whatever. Do things with them. Build a relationship with them. Partnership, I think, is one of the most important things for success for any MSP out there. You need to choose a partner wisely and work with them closely. So this is how it works. I mean, you have to build that. It's you're becoming one because, for example, I'm going to go back to it again. AvePoint, I'll sell their stuff for the backup. It's part of my onboarding. Every customer that we onboard, their backup is going straight to AvePoint. So what the whole meaning of this? When FSI wins, AvePoint wins, the customer wins.
And you have created trust.
And Microsoft, yeah, and the trust, yes.
Yeah.
And the whole, by the way, talking about partnerships, if there is no trust, there is no partnership.
There's no partnership.
It's the same thing like in a marriage.
Yeah.
No trust, no marriage. No trust, no partnership. I think it's, for me, to succeed as an MSP today, because of all the competition out there, you need to choose wisely your partner and partner with them and go all out. I mean, don't go ask for handouts. Do the dirty work with the partner, come up with ideas. You know, be the person out there who's going to give them ideas to run a marketing campaign for their own customer, because they're going to benefit from it.
Yep.
It's not only FSI or whoever the MSP is.
And not the person that is being shown on the big screen on a cool
That's
big
right.
set.
So
go.
I got to turn to App, because AppPoint is genuinely probably one of the best at brand and story, and getting and doing things that are not traditional, like how do you kind of sit back and wait for things. AppPoint has an incredible reputation for really making things happen, like really like going out above and beyond. I was hoping, Scott, you could talk a little bit about this as well.
Yeah, and I'll frame it in the lens of the Microsoft story as well. Right?
And Partner of the Year for like 7-8 years,
Something
maybe
like
9
that,
years
yeah.
running, something like that.
Hopefully more.
Yes,
right,
yes.
As we go, but similar to everyone, we spend a lot of time understanding Microsoft's goals, right? What outcomes they're looking for.
Yeah.
And we really do build our messaging, our stack, even our commercial bundles around those outcomes, right? So, our MSPs, our resellers, ultimately our partners, I mean, everybody needs to understand sort of, we're revolving around the sun, right?
Yes.
Microsoft is sort of the center of that solar system. And we want to make sure that Microsoft wins, we win, our partner wins, right? That power of 3 story is really, really critical.
Super critical.
And when we do that, it's very simple to partner. It's very simple, right? Because we understand that Microsoft wants everyone to get into Copilot. Microsoft wants people leveraging AI workloads or Azure workloads and AI workloads, certainly, right? This is what is very clearly written. I mean, we're in a new fiscal year, right? Microsoft new fiscal year. We're all kind of unpacking what the new program is, right? It's not always easy to figure it out.
That's right.
Right? But there's some obvious themes, right? AI, Azure, right? Building workloads and technology on there. I mean, agents are starting to become really prevalent, right? And we have a story around even agents and governance. So there's a lot there that we think about it in the Microsoft lens, right? And how we deliver that ultimately to our partners, which empowers them to be successful, right? Because that's the key here. We can't, just sell, right?
That's right.
We need to enable our partners with technology, with support, co-marketing, as Nabil alluded to, right? Co-marketing is so important. Co-sell, unbelievably important, right?
Really important.
It's really
Finally,
difficult.
finally.
Co-sell is so hard, right? We build our whole team around co-sell with partners. So it's a huge opportunity, but you have to think about it in sort of the lens of what Microsoft is trying to accomplish.
Let's dive in a little bit on AI. We've skirted around it as a subject, but let's talk about a couple things. First of all, NVIDIA, $4 trillion market cap and growing, by the way. They just got entry now into China in a big way. The Trump administration has approved them selling some of their better chips into China. So we're going to see this thing continuing to grow. Data center movement is huge. Power companies, utility companies are becoming huge now, by the way, because they're downstream of this. Somebody's got to drive the power consumption. And we're seeing big deals, right? In the Middle East, we're seeing big deals here worldwide. Tons and tons of these data centers, big chips. Microsoft leaning in big with it, with ChatGPT and Copilot, but also more involvement here, and people are starting to see the benefit finally, right? Because we talked about the early days, like people overestimated what you would see 1 year, and they underestimate what they see in 10, and that's what we saw with AI. The first year was like, it was underwhelming, and then the first couple years of selling Copilot, I didn't see the results, right? Well, now we're getting to this point where now agentic is starting to get layered in. We're starting to see Microsoft, in fact, creating a separate group for startups where they're going to be laying in. Jason Grafey's going to be running this new initiative to go and embed AI into all these organizations. You're starting to see more of that motion happening. And this means also, this is where the MSPs are going to come in, the layering in, somebody's got to layer in all the agentic AI, all of the AI across these platforms. And who is going to do it? Let's talk about AI. I know we all have points of view on it. I think we all are very passionate about it. I believe personally, 5 years, our world is going to be radically different than it is today because it's happening so fast. We're starting to see this hockey stick. What would you have to say to that, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, we think about AI in really multiple angles, right? We, of course, think about AI in what we can build into our own technology, right? We want to make our technology smarter and leverage best of breed technology. We think about AI and how we can build a better company, right? Of course, right? We're an organization that wants to be more productive.
That's right.
And we think about AI in how we can help our partners get their customers there. So we have like 3 different work streams when we think about AI, and we're leveraging all 3, right? So we build technology that ultimately is smart and scales, right? And is automated and comes up with, suggestions and different ideas for the person using the technology, ultimately to make the right decisions. We think about AI readiness and security, right? The number one reason why people don't deploy Copilot today is data security risk, right? And it's a
public cloud, right?
It's a really, really important problem today, surfacing that risk. Are you oversharing? Do you have proper governance on a team, right? All of those different complex issues. And then once again, internally, we're building agents, right? How do we get smarter? We have something called Chat AVPT, right? And we use that. I think Microsoft did a really nice case study on us, actually, about how we're leveraging AI today internally. So we think AI is, once again, disrupting everything. It's changing the way we think about business. I am, just astonished to see what will become, right, in the next few years, of course. But it's layered everywhere, right? Everything we do should be thinking about, prompts, and that should be our first, reflex, reflexive AI, right? The first thing you think about is, well, how can I use AI to do task X, Y, Z, right? So it's very interesting times.
So we use AI, of course, internally. We want to be a good customer zero. And we use it to make ourselves more efficient, more intelligent. We also use it when it comes to operating Azure. And we have our own service called AI Operations, which is about taking care of all these AI workloads and make sure that they run 24/7. That's a beautiful service. So we live and breathe AI. But looking outside our company IDNext, I think that MSPs in general need to think about how can they swing AI. The low-hanging fruit is, of course, using it internally, but then making sure that they are exploring if they can set up services, subscription services, that are based on AI and that leverage this momentum that we got in AI right now. So perhaps we are used to renting a car at the airport. Hertz rent a car. We might see Hertz rent an agent. So think about it, because if you are not thinking about it, someone else will.
Yeah, very good point. Nabil?
Good point, Per. But Per just said it all. No, the way I look at it, for us as an MSP, when it comes to AI, first of all, we need to drink our own Kool-Aid.
Yes.
All right. I think the same thing went with a lot of companies. They were promoting a lot of AI and they were not using it internally. Didn't even know what it meant. So I feel like for us at FSI, we're using AI, Copilot in our help desk. We even moved our ConnectWise, moved it to Dynamics. We are in the CRM. We run our ticketing system through Dynamics. We run our sales through Dynamics, run our marketing through Dynamics, and all that, we have AI involved in it.
Love it.
And we're trying to change the culture internally with our people. It's to push people to be using more AI. Because the reason why, we are already helping customers with AI. If we don't know about AI, how are we going to be helping someone else with AI?
That's right.
So what Per said, start thinking about it. Because AI, it's exactly what happened when the internet came. What year did the internet appeared?
Oh, it was in the 90s, yeah.
In the 90s, yeah. It was the same thing what's happening right now. No one knew what was going on, what's happening. And so my only advice I will give to any MSP, get on AI, because if you don't, someone else is going to come and take it from you.
Well, you're going to fall
Somebody else
back.
is going to support your customers with AI.
I feel like every day you wait, you're falling a month or a year further behind. It's happening so rapidly now.
It took ChatGPT 2 months to get to 100 million users.
It's crazy.
Right? I mean, it took cloud, Facebook, years to accomplish those things. Imagine where we'll be in a year. You cannot wait.
And the hallucinations are dropping dramatically. The power and the quality of the output is so much better than it was even just a few months ago. Go ahead.
Now, I was going to say, when it comes to AI, we have to learn it because we have to think about it ourselves as executives. It only makes us better.
Absolutely.
It's the same message we need to take to the leaders out there, telling them AI, it's only going to make you better, make your business better, think faster. That's why I'm telling all the MSPs out there, learn it, do research, start working on it. Because actually AI, believe it or not, for an MSP is going to open up a lot of opportunities. For example, security, data cleanup, so all that. So you need to be part of this era.
I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, Nabil, because we've had this conversation for a while. We've been doing Ultimate Partner for years, the podcast. About 2+ years ago, we started doing events. We did our first live stream and then our first in-person, and we've continued down that route. One of the things I get from MSPs quite often is, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. Can you help me? What do you say to some of those MSPs to help them be more successful?
So one of the biggest advice I will give over here, join a group. Like, for example, I joined Ultimate Partner. That's how, believe it or not, that's how I've met Dux, Scott, Per, and those are the people who became part of my Microsoft life.
Yeah.
All right, but I had the exact same question a few years back, where to start, because, for example, as FSI working with Microsoft, it's not very easy to work with Microsoft, so I have to start somewhere. Right. And my beginning, it all started, believe it or not, it was an Ultimate Partner in Dallas at Las Colinas.
Yeah.
When we've met.
The original event.
Yeah, it was, I
Very
think,
first
one
event.
of the best shows ever, and it just opened up my eyes to the Microsoft world, because I was never able to be anywhere near president of Microsoft or a C-level executive who is in the same room as you, and then you can ask the question, or other partners who are just like you, who either they have 20 years of experience and they're doing $10 billion, or they have 5 years and doing 5 million. But that's what I met the people through Ultimate Partner. That's what I started to meet the right people, the exact people that I needed to meet with Microsoft for me to start working directly with Microsoft. So that's what I was talking earlier. Partnership, for me, personally, as an MSP owner, it's one of the most important things.
And you're not going to find that surfing the web or going on a LinkedIn profile, right?
You will not find this. These things you have to meet either the right group or the right people to put you in touch. And there is a lot of groups out there. Like I said, I was lucky enough to be in Dallas for the Ultimate Partner, and I was privileged to meet with Kevin Pisker at the time, which was a big deal, was the president of Microsoft. But yeah, for me, that's how it works. I think partnerships are very important.
Yeah. And then you met up with Dux Raymond Sai, who you knew from many years ago, but you hadn't seen each other.
Funny enough, the story with Dux, I think I keep repeating that story over and over, but it was here in Boca about a year ago. Went to breakfast with Dux. Per was there. Dux opened up a laptop while we're having breakfast. Like, oh, let me show you a product we have. No joke, within 5 minutes, I picked up the phone, called my office. I said, you need to see what this company has to offer. And believe it or not, it's been a year. It's been one of the best partnerships we've had, because we also get a lot of support from our partner. So by the way, partnerships is two ways. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was talking earlier when I said about Microsoft. For any MSPs out there, don't go ask for handout. So, you know, do something for them so they do something for you. It has to go both ways. So
I was at one of the AppPoint calls just about a month or so ago, and they were glowingly talking about your company and how much business you've generated for them.
We actually have generated a lot of business thanks to our partner, AppPoint. And again, AppPoint has been a big help for us when it comes to the whole AI era as well, because it started all with Copilot readiness, which was AI. And through that, we got so much going on with helping our customer clean up the data, you know, secure their data, like all that. It's created projects for us. And it's funny because AppPoint kind of introduced us to AI indirectly, because we were doing the co-pilot readiness.
it.
That's how it all started. So
You're going to make me blush.
please don't.
I love that. I love to see that.
There's
Per,
a
Per, you've been
small-
talking about
yeah,
this.
a small thing that you said that I want to emphasize a little bit. You made a technical decision, which vendor should we go with, which vendor's technology.
Yep.
You made it as a business person. And that is often more successful than technical people making decisions that
Absolutely.
business.
Absolutely. I think decisions have to be made as a business, not as technical.
Yes.
But also, right, the product solves a really hard problem, of course.
right.
But what has taken the partnership to another level? Co-sell, co-marketing, personal relationships, advocacy,
Yes.
right? That is sort of the
Yes.
difference between when you think about, do I take on a vendor, do I onboard a vendor, or, nah, not for me, right? That's the piece that separates, many MSPs from good to great.
And I feel like when it comes to vendor, you have to work with the vendor that you love. It's like really, it's like a marriage. Because don't forget that you're selling this product to your customer. That means you got to be selling them something that you believe in. And that's why when you said it's the trust and that personal relationship with the vendor, because you know why? When you have a personal relationship, you can run ideas with them and they can run ideas with you as well because you're in it together. When you grow, they grow, your customer grows. It's everybody wins in here. So
We talk about the principles of success, but it starts at the top with the growth mindset and the executive commitment. And you see the difference in organizations like AvePoint and maybe some other organizations out there that maybe are not as, a little bit more reticent on the partnering side, maybe not as the trust is.
what a good point, Vince. Honestly, it makes all the difference in the world. That personal relationships, and when you have C-level executives who are open to talk to any of their customers, whatever, like that's what I had my relationship with AvePoint today. I feel very comfortable. If there's an issue, I'll call because I feel comfortable to say good or bad because we're in it together.
Great. I want to stay on this topic of communities and a little bit of a call out to Per, who's been around for me for several years. We started having conversations during COVID about the fact that we really needed to do something here to bring, because we had the people, we just needed to get them all in the same room back in those days. Per?
So what happens when you bring people together is that you build trust. And when you have built trust, you start helping each other, and that builds even more trust. And even if you're not doing business together, you will influence each other's business, you will help each other, and that's good for the group as a whole, and it's also good for all individual members. But you need to have a mentality where you're willing to share, where you're willing to expose yourself and talk about what is not working well and get help from others. And that is the essence of a great community, and Ultimate Partner has really become a wonderful community where the trust level is super high.
Because of people like each of you, and AvePoint has come on as a big sponsor, a big supporter of our events. I wanted to talk about this for a minute because we are going to only have a few minutes left, so unselfish plug here a little bit, right? So these gentlemen were just at our event in Redmond just a couple of months ago, right? May 1st and 2nd. It seems like it was yesterday in some regards. And you'll be back again October. We're going to be in Reston, Virginia, Washington, D.C. area. Really the tech hub of the Washington, D.C. metro area, but also
Must attend.
Yeah, must attend, and that'll be on we'll start on the 27th of October with a beautiful reception, and then we have 2 full days of content at Carasoft, which AvePoint is responsible for us hosting that event and co-sponsoring the event with us. And then we're hoping to do something also around the Ignite conference as well. So we've got a rich fall coming up, and then we'll be back in this studio in the winter. We've all agreed that this is our favorite place to come in like January and February. So we're probably going to do a couple of our live.
And it's also, people need to know, I mean, for the MSP community out there, it's the place where you're going to come and learn everything how to do business with Microsoft.
Yeah.
By the way, at those events, this is what I've learned how to work with Microsoft. It's through building relationship with people who are coming to the Ultimate Partner event. And this is the place to be. You have to come. There will be Microsoft people. There will be other ISVs who are going to share stories with you, other SIs who are just like you, who can tell you what works, what doesn't work. You know, it's kind of basically, it's a peer group. That's why I love it. It's I built new friends.
And we've had
mentors.
And we've had some of the other vendors come in, like Pax8 and Ingram in the last event. So we're starting to see, again, this ties into what AvePoint's been doing already, in getting, I call it the long tail, but it takes you all through the mid-market all the way down to the smallest customers. You need a mechanism to get there, and this is what we're talking about now. And then even the large organizations need to become more like MSPs. So we're hoping to get some of the resellers in the room because the ones that are successful, the ones that are building their own MSP or they're acquiring MSPs, we could talk about some of that as well if we had another hour today.
And that blend is beautiful, that you have members that are coming from different corners of the industry. And that makes good network opportunities.
Yeah, the partner ecosystem is changing rapidly. Everyone has to learn quickly how to do service delivery. You feel it when you understand, licensing and margins and kind of where the world is going in AI as well. And this is really a great community, right, to start investing in, frankly, because it's going to help you on that journey. And I love to see distributors and LSPs and all different sorts of partners that we know are doing great service delivery, right? They need to do it at scale, they need to be automated, right? And they need to do it profitably. And this is really a great combination of vendors and other partners to kind of have that peer group. And no group is greater from a peer-to-peer perspective than the MSP community.
Yeah.
I am always blown away with how well everyone works together.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Scott, for that. And I want to just call out, these gentlemen all flew in today just to be here in the studio. I feel so privileged to have you as friends and supporters. You came in from New York area, Stockholm, Sweden, right? And the DC area as well, and all flew in today just to be here to help you. And I want to thank everyone. I know we're basically at time right now. I want to thank all of our supporters. What an incredible community we're building with you. I have a personal mission to help each of you achieve your greatest results. I'm very fortunate to be here, and I don't discount that in any way. So come to theultimatepartner.com or Ultimate Guide to Partnering. You'll find us at the same. It'll take you to the same website. The event in Reston, the registration is opening either today or tomorrow, so you'll be able to register. We're going to have these gentlemen will be in the room again. We'll have a deep conversation. We're going to have an MSP track. We're going to be growing that. We'll have some of the other top ISVs in the room. Some of the Microsoft leaders, some of the other leaders in the hyperscaler market will be in the room with us at this event, helping nurturing your growth. This is what it's all about. We also bring the top partner tech companies in the room that support us. Companies like Sugar and Tackle and WorkSpan all come in and support our events. And then some of the top consulting companies are also in the room. The Carve Partners, the Bridge Partners, all of those organizations to help nurture your growth. And so one ticket, a couple of days of time, you're going to learn more in that period of time. You heard Per talk about that. So come to theultimatepartner.com, and then you can also watch us. You can watch this recording. The edited version of this will be on our YouTube channel, ultimatepartner.com or Ultimate Partner YouTube channel. You'll find us there. And then if you would like to listen in your car or while you're taking the kids to soccer or riding your bike or doing whatever exercise you're doing, you can watch this on wherever you listen to The Ultimate Partner or The Ultimate Guide to Partnering. You'll find us. So I want to thank each of you for your support, for being so supportive of these great gentlemen, this part of this great community that we are building together. And we'll hope to see you all in Reston, Virginia in just a few months. And thank you for joining us today. Thank you.